Hey guys, welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be talking about a new release from Cadola watches. It's a micro brand that I reviewed earlier. This time they came out with a diver on an integrated bracelet. I'm going to zoom in on these watches, and I say watches because I'm not just reviewing one, but two. And they are called the Dark Pearl Farina Automatic and that same watch in Moss Drift. And what I really like about these watches, and I've reviewed that in my earlier video, is that they come in these very nice colorful boxes that are instantly recognizable. Now, a downside about micro brand watches in general is that very often you can try them on in the store, which is why in this video I'm going to try and give you a good overview of what the watch looks and feels like on the wrist. I'm going to try and describe that as accurately as possible. And there's quite some things to mention about these watches in particular, so stay tuned. As with all Cadola watches, these come with motorsport as an inspiration. Cadola even cites Nino Farina, which is the first Formula One champion, as inspiration for these watches. Now, having tried on both of these watches, I realized something incredibly important and something that I want you to take in mind when it comes to purchasing a micro brand or any other watch that you cannot try in the store. And that is that watch specifications, dimensions matter more than you maybe think. All right, so first we're going to be looking at the specs of these watches. So when it comes to the movement, they are using a Japanese automatic movement, which Cadola describes as Japanese automatic with 3 hands. Pretty basic stuff. Now the case is made of stainless steel, is 44 millimeters in diameter, but then, very important to mention, is the lug size. For these watches, that's 53 millimeters. And 53, I think, with a watch like this, is on the big side. And lug, I would say, is the most important measurement to take into consideration when looking at a watch. Watches can be statement pieces, and you can make a statement with nice bold colors or interesting materials. I don't necessarily think that you need to do that by making the watch very big, very bulky, or very heavy. And unfortunately, that's exactly what Cadola has done with this watch. It simply feels too large for me, and that's a shame because there is potential there. Because let me zoom in on the things that I do like about this watch. Looking at the dial, there's a very nice, and now I'm looking specifically at the moss colored version. It has a nice slight gradient in the dial. They did a creative job with the hour markers, which are recessed. Then the combination of the dark green with the orange seconds hand. Another great thing is the bezel action. I feel very little play when turning the bezel. There's a clear lume pip on top. The bezel also has a very nice matte finishing. And I also like the idea of having a dive watch on an integrated bracelet. It's a nice little touch. It makes things interesting, different. There's another big downside that I do have to mention for everyone who's considering this watch, and that is the crystal. And this is such a shame and something that I think could be fixed so easily. But something about the thickness of the crystal, or I don't know exactly what, but from a lot of angles, it looks like the crystal is fogged up. I'm not saying the crystal is f***ed up. I'm saying it looks fogged up. I have to look at it from a certain angle and then I have a very clear view of the dial. But often when I'm looking at it straight on, either because the crystal is too thick, it just comes at the cost of the legibility. So that's what I want to point out here. They're great watches when you look at them on their website. They're great watches when you see renders of it. I've taken certain photos of these watches and even then I think, wow, it looks great. But then when you put it on the wrist or you have it in your hand, it's like, if only they would have paid a little bit more attention to it, if maybe they would have taken a little bit more time to think about the design, this watch could have been a home run. The color is very well done. I think green is a color that you can very easily mess up completely. And this moss green, I really, really like. It's just that I wish it would have come in a 38 or 40 millimeter iteration. They should have made it a lot thinner. I don't think it's necessary to make the case this thick. And I don't think it's necessary to make this watch that heavy. Because when you have all the links in the bracelet, it wears 210 grams, which is a lot. Other than that, it's of course nice when there's a racing inspired theme for a watch. Looking at the watch itself, there's no link or reference to it at all. With their other watches, there was clearly different. You could see it in the colors, you could see it in the checkered flag pattern, and I'm missing all of that here. All right, so let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you have any questions about these watches, I have them, so I'm happy to answer them. If you would like to see more on the brand Cadola, let me know as well. And as always, if you like the video, please like the video. and subscribe if you want to see more.